Hi everybody, this is Joe Contrera. Welcome back to the Alive at Work Leadership video blog. This week we're going to go in a completely different direction based on a conversation I had with somebody last weekend. This week's blog is entitled, "You Are Powerful Beyond Measure." You know, over the course of 20 plus years of working with people, I've come to the conclusion that most people don't realize just how powerful they are. In fact, I would think the great majority of folks believe the exact opposite, that they have no power, that the world is unfolding in a chaotic way, and they are absolutely powerless to do anything about it. So they complain, they rail against, they get angry with themselves or each other, all the while forgetting that they have one of the most powerful tools at their beck and call. In fact, to date, as far as we know, we are the only species with this tool at our disposal. And of course, I'm talking about the human mind and our ability to control our thoughts and what we think. You see, either you were never taught that, or you may have forgotten that the key to success, happiness, and joy, or misery, resentment, and anger, are all directly tied to your thoughts and what you think. What you believe and the meaning you tie to the people, events, situations unfolding in front of you determine whether you are going to be happy or discontent. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that are going to say that's a bunch of BS. The world is in utter chaos, and if the Democrats win or the Republicans win in November, it will be the end of mankind as we know it. When did you lose sight of the fact that the single biggest factor impacting your ability to control your thoughts, which determine whether you're going to be happy or discontent, is what you're feeding your mind? You know, if you're one of those folks on a steady diet of news, regardless of whether it's CNN, MSNBC, Fox, or social media like Facebook and Instagram, then you are limiting, you in fact are debilitating your ability to think for yourself. Last week, I was visiting a friend who asked me, "What news do you watch?" And I said, "I don't." Well, you would have thought I was the most horrible person in the world. Why? They said, "How do you keep informed? You have a civic duty to be informed." And I said, "Informed by who? The media? Social media? Does that constitute facts? Or are those facts bent and twisted to be more like fiction?" I said, "My civic duty is not about watching folks on TV argue about racism. My civic duty is to make sure I don't think or behave like a racist. My civic duty lies in my responsibility to treat everyone as an equal, without prejudice or judgment." That's enough work in and of itself for me. You see, my civic duty isn't about railing against the Democrats or the Republicans to determine who's good, who's bad, who's right, who's wrong. My civic duty is to see the good and the not so good in all, which includes seeing the good and the not so good in me. I can't control the world, but I can control what I'm making things mean. We were all given the most powerful gift, the ability to determine what we think and therefore what meaning we apply to what's going on in the world. And yet, we waste this incredible resource because we're all too busy trying to make us right and everybody wrong, us good and everybody else bad. And we feed this dis-ease by filling our minds with garbage. Garbage that's handed to us, presented as facts, instead of rejecting it. And instead of rejecting it, we swallow it hook, line, and sinker, instead of taking responsibility for our own thoughts and our own actions. And then we wonder why we're unhappy or discontent or miserable. Don't complain about the media, but continue to watch it. If you unplug from them, they won't survive. Don't complain about racism and yet continue to harbor negative thoughts about people of another race, culture, country, gender, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status. That's all being a racist. The key to solving the world's problems won't happen because you watched the news or argued that you were right. The key to solving the world's problems will happen when you and I decide to stop judging others and start being inclusive instead of excluding and being exclusive. The key to solving the world's problems will be when you and I start taking personal responsibility for ourselves and our actions, and we stop blaming others for our unhappiness. And it all starts when you and I begin to embrace the power of changing the way we think and start controlling our thoughts. Well, lots of stuff to think about again. And until next time, please be safe and be well.